Okay, everyone, Rush will be with us in just a moment. What we're about to share with you guys is a true revolution in how you go about it. We want to take you beyond the way guys do pickup because we've noticed there's a big difference between how we go about it and how even some of the guys that are getting pretty good at going at it. For them, it's still one guy trying to talk to girls. And it's a little more potent than somebody who's doing nothing, but it's still the old frame of chasing. So today, we take you beyond that into starting to attract them. Brother,
Brother, why is mine not pro again?
Rush, ready to go?
Brother, why is mine not pro
Maybe
again?
Wasi can help you with that for a second.
I hope so.
I think it's a login matter. It took me a while to get it to, but now every time I log in, it's on pro.
Okay, well, there's a big lag from when I talk to when I hear myself, and there's no pro. But if it's fine, then we just get started.
I think we can get started. We have to mute again.
Okay. I can't hear you.
Okay, so I'll get the ball rolling. Do you want to mute on your side? Okay, Wasi, if you are ready, we're going to do 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone. This is a very, 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 very special broadcast as part of the countdown to the global SLR, which is going to be the world's most phenomenal, surreal event, unlike anything that's ever been witnessed. It's not a summit, it's not a conference, it's an experience, it's an adventure in lifestyle, and we're with you guys all the way because it's a journey. So today, with Rush, we are going to talk about social circle, but at a whole different level. You know, about the difference between trying to just approach or being approached. So, brother, you know, we haven't been in field that many times, but each time we're in field, I noticed that both you and I would come at it from a different angle. I remember during Venus Moon, I came to you by the bar, and I was there. I was going to introduce a girl that I was with to you, and you were sitting next to you were two blondes, and the way you turned to me, the volume and so on, of course, got those two girls to engage. And then I witnessed some more of that in San Jose. So I think it's a
We can't hear you, Vince. Did you finish talking? Because you were mid-sentence here. Can't hear you, Vince. Did you finish talking? Because you were mid-sentence here. Okay, you want me to talk? I thought you were mid-sentence. It shut you off. I didn't hear the conclusion of what you were saying. I was so excited to hear what you were saying, and it got shut off. Okay, well, a huge, huge part of my game, and I think Vince is calling me. Let's see if this is him. See if Vince is calling me. No, okay, he's not calling me. A huge part of my game is the ability to create this movement, or what Vince calls a vortex. I think it's a great word. I create this vortex of movement, and it keeps building on itself and building on itself. And this is what creates the illusion, and it's really not an illusion because it actually is what it is. But it creates the reality. Let's put it like that. It creates the reality that I'm running the whole club. or I'm running the whole bar. Now, yesterday, I got an incredible opportunity for this once again. What happened was I was going to go to lunch with one of my friends who's a friend of mine for many, many years. And he called me and he said, would you mind if a friend of mine joined us? And I thought it was a woman. I said, yeah, no problem. And he said, no, it's a guy. I said, okay, no problem still. If it's one of your friends, one of my friends, he can join you. And what ends up happening is when I arrived, the person who joined us was actually a superstar athlete. And when I say superstar, I mean like, I'm not going to name the person, but let's say it would be like, if you watch professional sports, you would know the person. And so here I am with my friend and you know, a celebrity in the arena of sports. And I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to go to work, because let me explain something to you. Let's say that we were going to play tennis and the person was a professional tennis player. They would whoop me in tennis, right? Let's say we're going to play basketball and the person was a professional basketball player. I wouldn't stand chance on the court against a professional basketball player. But the difference is that he and everybody there was in my arena. Social dynamics is my area. And I shit you not, I just finished a staff meeting about this right now. Within an hour, I had 3 professional athletes, 2 professional fighters, and some random guy. And I was running the entire restaurant. I mean, it just fucking looked like the Arash motherfucking D-Bazaar show. And it got so fucking good that one of these professional athletes afterwards invited me to his house to go from there to these fights, which it wasn't part of my day. My day was not planned for that. It was just going to go to lunch, come back, out a bunch of shit I was going to do. And I ended up having some of the most enjoyable and important experiences of my life up to date, because of my skill level and ability and confidence to be able to run a social dynamic scenario. So this is a part of what I'm going to go over with you guys in this event, because I truly have never seen anybody do it like me. And if you're part of it, I'm going to go out tonight right after this. If you're part of it, you can't deny the power of it. When you become the center of attention for the entire bar or the entire club. I've done it at strip clubs many times. I've done it at bars. I've done it at restaurants. I've honestly even done it in the street once, where I just started to just move the entire street for us. So that's, I think what Vince, I'm sure that's what Vince is talking about. And yesterday I was on, we practice these things for these moments, so that when the opportunity arrives, we're good enough. And yesterday, my friends, I had an opportunity to display the power of pickup and seduction in an area where there was very, very, very high level individuals. And you all would have been so proud to know me. The question of what do you do when there's so many alpha people? When the person next to me says, last year, I wasn't able to play whatever sport, and I ended up losing $30 million. I haven't made $30 million, my friends. Okay? That's a year's income without any kind of endorsements or any other shit. That's just the check from the fucking league. And in that environment, to spin everybody around, and to this morning, that was yesterday, this morning get a text from one of those athletes asking me if he could read the book that I left in his house before he gives it back to me. And do you know why I left a book in his house? Because I understand game. And that's called a lock-in prop, if you want to know. I didn't accidentally leave a book. I left a book on purpose. And today I got the call that said, I got a text that said, Is it cool that I read your book before you get it back? I said, hell yeah, brother. And he said, appreciate it, brother. I said, no doubt. Welcome to my world where I've got the entire planet under my spell because of my ability to understand relationships, social dynamics, and seduction. So that's it, Vince, for me. I know you're busy over there, but I'm going to pass it on.
Yes, brother, and I was in touch with Wasi trying to get rid of the lag. So just so you know, I was on the phone with Wasi. Yes, that is phenomenal. You know, the difference, and this is what we're talking about. When I came to visit you in San Jose, that's when I thought, you know what, we need to help the guys with that, because some of the guys that were with us, you put them in an interaction, they have no problem. I know them, they will close. But until they are in the interaction, what they do, they gravitate and they look or they wait, and it's a step that's missing in between. So you were on the patio with two girls and another guy. You know, I always put into practice, never more cocks than pussies there. So I went back inside, and here's the kind of dynamic we suggest. First, it was not Hollywood. In Hollywood, I could arrive somewhere and people already know me, so it's already existing because I built it through time. When we say entourage, we don't only mean that you arrive with your own entourage. You can arrive and be by yourself. So what was interesting was the difference, gentlemen. We had guys who were really good already, but they were still operating from that old model of looking around for the girl. And when you go into an interaction that way, you're still the one chasing. So you still, in a way, are at the mercy of her responses. But when you generate more attraction initially, so suddenly I noticed that there was a spot at the bar that was open. I sit there and I start a conversation with the waiter. I made him laugh because I say, I'm a cheap drinker, but I'm a heavy-duty tipper. Give me an iced tea and I'll tip you double of what people who drink alcohol would tip. Okay? So now I'm starting to be louder, and I notice that the gravitation is a little bit towards me. I'm still one guy by myself at the bar. Two guys come next to me, and those two guys, they have glasses that appear to be clear. I mean, it could be vodka, you know. So I say, it looks like water. Does it taste like water? And they go, yeah, it is water. Then I raise my glass and I go, it looks like iced tea, but here's the question. Is it iced tea? So by now, the bartender is paying attention to that. Those two guys are laughing and they're getting pretty loud. In that moment, it went from me being by myself to a girl coming out of nowhere going, oh my God, I love your hair. Can I take a picture? As she was taking the picture, another girl arrives at the bar to order drinks for her boyfriend and her friend. She's carrying 3 drinks. Okay? What's funny is that a moment ago, she came and she was by herself when I was sitting and not talking. And I spoke a little bit. But now, because I'm talking to the two guys, the bartender is laughing, and a woman is taking a picture of me, and she's next to me, and her daughter is taking the picture, that girl starts to address me. From that place, I look around, and the one girl that was to my liking because she had cool hair, now she's really looking at me, and then that's when I go, you, what about you? Okay? So it was interesting to see it in a setting outside of what I'm used to. I love what you said, brother, also, to do it on the street. I just love to do it on the street, you know. I don't go far. There's that guy who sells incense at the corner. I start a conversation with him, then bring somebody else in it, and from that little vortex, then it becomes super easy to talk. The next level, though, is to get guys to organize how to do that. Because, you know what's funny? Here's an important distinction before I pass it back to Arash, and then we probably should take questions. There's a dynamic that is so subtle that everything can change it. There's times when, let's say, in that moment, when I was talking to that little group, one of the guys that was with us was with me, but the moment he departed thinking he was doing the right thing because he wanted to let me be in my interaction, the whole thing faded a touch. So you need to learn the art of calibrating and orchestrating when to be a little closer, when to give it some space, and so on. So I pass it back to you, brother. I'm psyched about the idea of the vortex. That's the next thing in moving towards the GSLR that we're bringing you guys. And when you hear this, don't assume anything. It is very, very, very different.
Yeah, I think that if you really want to get the level of women that I get, you're gonna have to be able to do what I'm doing, guys. Because the woman of that caliber is looking for the guy that runs the place. She's not looking for second best. She's looking for number one. By being able to create this movement and getting everyone affected by my choices of words, my choices of action or movement, I start affecting the whole place. It becomes like a spider web that I create, and I'm the spider. And people keep getting caught in it, and I just start moving the web. That's how you get these women that I get at the higher levels, okay? Because it's not going to happen any other way. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you guys, you know, I'm telling you guys, you need to, like, you guys may be getting girls. I'm sure a lot of you are. I know a lot of you are. But at some point, you might want to start to increase the quality. I mean, I sure as fuck don't want to be with ugly women. I want to be with the one. Look at my Instagram. Look from yesterday what the fuck I did. So in order to do that, you have to be able to run the environment. You become like to me, you know what I think? It's funny. I think you guys will really appreciate this. I become an elemental that controls wind, earth, water, fire, everything, wood. And so when I'm out, I suddenly imagine, I don't imagine it, I just become like an elemental. Like I run the bar. I run the hostess. I run the bartender. I mean, the waitress. I run that table and that table. I run the fucking security. It's part of my game. Security is part of it. I get security involved. And next thing you know, everything is reacting to me. And so she is an individual now inserted in my web. And I'm going to catch her, dude. I'm going to catch her. So that's what's happening, you know. That's what I'm going to go do tonight, right after this. Look forward to more pictures and videos. There should be more. You know, if there's people out, I'm going to fucking get them. And it's going to be more and more practice. By the time you guys see me at the Global SLR, you're not even going to believe what I'm going to do. Because I've literally been going out twice a week, religiously, since Venus Moon. And sometimes more. You know, yesterday I ended up going out on accident. Like, I was just presented with an opportunity that ended up being incredible. I got to hang out with incredibly high-level celebrities and be at their house and drive in their cars. And, you know, let me tell you that my value as an individual and as an IMC Academy came up 1,000-fold in my city yesterday, because there was a lot of eyes that saw me with professional athletes and them reacting to me. Learn to master this shit, and you will be a true Jedi. You'll be a true Sith Lord. You'll be a true elemental. You are a fucking wizard amongst men, if you know this stuff. So let's take some questions, at least 30 minutes, so that, you know, I wanted to answer questions, but I have to be on time.
Yeah, gentlemen, we're ready for your questions. I think also as you start to type your questions down there, Kat, whomever is going with the first question, one thing you got to realize also is that as you get a girl, she might be 70% sold, you know, there's a threshold when a girl will start to give herself the permission to physically engage with you. But then it's a lot easier, or at least she's thinking about it. It's a lot easier when she's really sold from the start. So I think that one of the benefits that you guys are going to experience when you start to really tackle at first that idea, because it's very different. You're going to also have to do a lot of unlearning. And when you begin to be more and more proficient all the way to mastery, what you'll notice is that you'll have a lot less work to do afterwards. Wouldn't you say so, brother? I feel that this also resolves like so much. The initial impact is so strong that the rest tends to follow. The one girl that I met in San Jose, which I didn't really care for that much, but she's been texting me nonstop ever since, and I'm not even responding. I'm not responding. Her brothers were like, what do you want with our sister? So I was like, okay, I'm staying away from that. But what's funny is that she keeps on texting. So the impact is a lot greater. If you fed up with all the usual struggle, you know, the girl not texting back, the girl not showing up, the girl, what they call last minute resistance and so on, it's because the initial impact wasn't strong enough. The stronger it is, the more they will give themselves the permission. So, what questions do you guys have? We're waiting for your questions, gentlemen. And you have to realize that you can ask any question that you want, and then after that, we are going to reconnect it with what we're talking about. Help you make the connection, because you probably are unaware of that connection. A lot is popping up, but no questions yet. I will ask you a question, brother. What do you think is the first thing that needs to change in... Oh, there's one. It's a terrible question.
Okay, I'll tell you. Hypnosis is like this. Go ask a lot of different men you know what they think of pickup, okay? And majority will say it's stupid, it doesn't work. And many will claim that they're good at it and they teach it. But I can name in the entire world the people qualified to talk about this fucking subject on a real scholarly level that they put in their work. We know each other. The people in game at the highest levels know each other. And these people are deadly when it comes to women. Hypnosis is the same thing. There is a handful of people that are very good. Very, very good. And they know each other. Most of them. And the rest are a bunch of amateurs trying to do a bunch of amateur dumb shit. And Ross Jeffries is an old man who is rude and not somebody you'd ever want around your friends, your girlfriend, or your family, or any children, or pets. And that's my opinion of that guy. So, it's just an opinion. God knows he could be the greatest man that ever lived. But that is how he has displayed himself to me. That's my answer for that. That's my answer.
You got to realize that it's all hypnosis in a way, okay? I wouldn't be so concerned about like when you're asking, you know, a lot of guys, they ask, can you really hypnotize a girl and so on. What you got to realize is any reality that you're currently in, is hypnosis. So become more aware of your own current mindset. I see there's a question that's coming up about mindset, and I'm gonna go into that. And also, what you got to do is to make sure that you don't use anything as a crutch. It's counterproductive. That was the challenge with the individual that we talked about. Is that a lot of guys started to think, oh, maybe I can hypnotize girls. But why would you want to hypnotize a girl? Because you're not sure that you can get a girl another way. That in itself is a terrible form of self-hypnosis. Okay, so it became very counterproductive because a lot of guys would be devaluating themselves, thinking that the only way that they could possibly get a woman was if they were able to hypnotize her. Now, I've seen Arash in action with hypnosis, and I'm going to tell you that is one motherfucking wizard of hypnosis, and so am I. We trance girls all the time. We trance the environment. What are we talking about? It's a form of social hypnosis. It's to get the entire place into a trance. There are many elements, at least speaking for myself in the way I do it, that are based on stage hypnosis. The first thing a stage hypnotist will do is going to start to test the audience. And then, for those of you guys who ever read my book, Beyond Hypnosis, you want to learn how to categorize groups. The name doesn't matter so much for as long as it depicts a certain category. I'll give you a quick example. This is something I teach in the Vortex. I'll give you just the example, okay? The first thing that I'm looking for in my surroundings, in terms of people, are what I refer to in the book Beyond Hypnosis, a believer. It's somebody that is sold from the start. So there's always one chick that will become a very good candidate because if needed, she would defend me, and I'm looking for one believer. That person may not be around right away. How do you find out? You toss something. See, for example, if you just go, I'm by those two guys at the bar, and I go, now, gentlemen, this one, iced tea. It looks like iced tea, but is it? And notice where my arms are going. People see it from the distance. As I do it, I'm very animated, and I turn my eyes, not looking. It's part of me moving. And I scan the crowd. In the crowd, you're going to notice maybe one person that's smiling already. That's the believer, that lady that came and wanted to take a picture. You are going to maybe notice somebody who doesn't like it, okay? That's the troublemaker. I call that the troublemaker. So a hypnotist will quickly eliminate the troublemaker or not even allow them in, okay? After that, you notice an achiever. Those two guys were achievers. So the achiever wants to achieve something, so you keep on raising the fucking bar. The achiever, you drive them into complying by constantly raising the bar, because what they want is to be recognized, and you bring them close to recognition, but never quite. So that's part of my mindset. I have different categories. So 3 steps. Number 1, then I pass it back to Arash, which is in the question, what is your mindset when you're doing the vortex? Number 1, I am not worried a bit or preoccupied at all by any women. Okay, I start from the center, which is where I'm at. I know they're going to gravitate. I know they're going to notice. I know they're going to be there. So that's different. I'm not looking for girls. I put myself where the pussy's at. I pick the spot in the surrounding that's most conducive to creating a vortex. If it's too open, there's not enough people. If it's too crowded, it might not be easy. Depends also on who's around. And step number 3, I ignite myself in a way that will, step number 4, cause those different categories to reveal themselves, and then I start to, almost like playing chess, even though I don't play chess, to orchestrate. Okay? I pass it back to Arash with that question that I find a little more interesting. The, what's it called? What is your mindset?
The mindset when you create a vortex is really simple, and I'm not even going to go deep into it because it's just 2 things. It's being fun and social. That's it. Forget everything else. That's the mindset. Be fun and social. Anything else you do is ridiculous, okay? If you're going to create that fun and social environment, you have to be fun and social. You can't be serious and deep. You can't be Fun and social. That's what creates the honey or the ingredient. Then, of course, you have to have skills. There's a lot that goes on. Like right now, how Vince described the bar scene. You see? That's what I'm telling you. So when I met Vince, I told him, I said, nobody's going to understand what you're doing. Because I bet you, if he hadn't described that, the majority, if not 100% of you, would have missed that he had done that. But if I had watched him, I would have seen that take place, without a doubt. Because, just like you said, you're always testing for an audience, for the most suggestible people. What do you think I'm doing when I pick up? Now, let's continue with hypnosis for just a second. The audience, you have a resistance, you have one who resists a lot. But then, the majority are under trance. And the majority are walking around clucking like a fucking chicken. And if the person doesn't do it, he or she is going to look stupid. So, there's social pressure to at least cluck like a chicken when I say cluck like a fucking chicken. And so suddenly the one who was non-compliant ends up complying because of social pressure. If you play this game right, this vortex that gets created, I use this energy to suddenly go boom towards my target. And now there's so much social pressure to comply with me that to not comply with me becomes very difficult. And all I need is a little bit of compliance that I can create from that compliance, a chain of compliances. And from there, she's mine. Okay? Okay, next question. Tom says, what do you do to elevate a woman's mind when speaking to her for the first time in set, in quotes? I'll pass it to Vince. What do you do to elevate a woman's mind when you're speaking to her? For the first time. What do you do to elevate a woman's mind?
The frame is backwards there. I don't know how many of you guys, I'm really committed to help you guys understand the power of frames and to flip most of your frames around, okay? Because you might think you'll be doing pickup, but for as long as it's still based on like trying to get the girl to do something, the frame is backwards, okay? So to elevate a woman's mind, when you're doing pickup, first and foremost, you got to find out, is she capable of that? Okay? Is she capable of that? The problem is on her side. You're not there as a servant that has to go and elevate her mind. That mindset in itself, even if you had a girl whose mind could be elevated, if you come into the situation with some really good candidates, and you start to think, how do I elevate her mind? It's backwards. Because do you think that the girl at this time, she's thinking, how do I appease the guy? How do I relieve him? How do I make him like me? That they don't do. They will start to do it when they turn around and they see everybody looking at the crazy guys that are running the fucking show. In that moment, they're going to be, how do I get this guy? And now they agree with you. You know, it's so funny. When you do the vortex, a lot of what women used to question before, they kiss your ass with it. They find that fantastic. If I'm one guy looking around, running around, and then I see a girl and I do that little chase, you know, that got a lot of people in England to get arrested or stuff, malls to forbid pickup in Canada because they were chasing girls. And then I try to demonstrate value, and I come from that frame of I have to elevate her mind. If suddenly I tell her, she goes, what do you do? I go, oh, I'm a pickup artist. It's backwards. But if instead she already sees me that, then she will accept everything. She goes, oh, that's the guy from CNN. Okay? So you got to flip your frame around. Is she capable of elevating her mind? It's up to her to demonstrate. And for you, your concern should be how elevated.
You got cut off, brother. Okay, I'll go to the next one. Champ says, how to long-term game cashiers? What are some interesting, fun, cool, quick, unique questions and combo frames to touch? If you're going to learn from me, which I assume if you're watching, you might have some interest in learning from me, you first are going to have to learn to respect this science and this art form. Okay? There are no quick little things you can do to make the cashier want to fuck you. This is the science and the art of mating. This is not a small subject. This is a subject that kings want to know, celebrities want to know, as I demonstrated yesterday. Millionaires, billionaires, they want to know this. And it's not about a quick little thing you can say to the fucking cashier. Now, there are many companies which are almost out of business, thanks to myself and Vince coming together, as I could barely hear their names now. Every once in a while, sometimes I'm walking at night and a frog farts, and it sounds like one of these names of one of these other companies. Some of those companies will tell you, here's what you say to her, and here's what you say. And those guys are the only people they're fucking are their hands with the name of my girlfriends on them. Like the true teacher and one who has dedicated his life. Now let me tell you something about Vince Kelvin and Arash Divasar. If we were back in time, like let's say 500 years ago maybe, yeah, around 500 years ago. Less than that, Jesus, no, like 300 years ago, 250 years ago. They would say with very good accuracy that these two human beings sold their soul to learn the secrets of this art form. And this is 100% accurate statement for myself and for Vince, right? And so to these individuals, a question is asked, is there any quick little techniques that I can long-term game a cashier, something that will make her want me? No, there isn't. There really isn't, okay? What you need to do is learn the science and the art, get some coaching, invest a little bit of time, energy, and money into yourself, and then you could do what I do or what Vince does, which is when we go to the store, by the time we leave, the cashiers are giving us their phone numbers because we say something clever. But it's not because in that moment we said something clever. It's because of all the moments prior to that and how many women we've been with and what we've learned. So when the moment comes, we could say a few little clever things and she will probably end up coming out later with us. But it's not in that moment that it happened. That moment looks like the magic that everybody sees, but they don't see all the fucking hard work. When the guy floats across Grand Canyon as a magic trick, it's not that moment that he floated across Grand Canyon. That's the finale. That's when you see him float across the Grand Canyon. When you see us get women, that's the finale. That's when you see us do our magic. But our act is prepared in all the times no one's watching. That's the difference. That's my answer.
Our act is prepared in all the times no one's watching. That's the difference. That's my answer for that.
I think I'm going to move to the next question. You know, as I'm looking at the next question, there's a security guard in my building that's, there's quite a few women, okay? And they are really melting for me. Now, again, backwards. If I was the guy who would say, how do I get the security guard in my building, those female, to give me some attention, then I would not get any attention from them. Plus, you also got to ask yourself, okay, do you really want to do all of this to bed the girl at the cash register? Okay, so first thing, you got to know why you're doing what. So girls at the cash register, it's backward. Why are they there at the first place? They're there to render a service. The service of you being assisted in the store. Since you're doing pickup, you may as well add to that service, give me a little practice. So it's just a little fun. And to get back to the girl in my building, they see me pass by with girls all the time. They see me do my thing, and that is the greater appeal. So you got to make sure you don't have it backwards. When running the venue, Robert Nelson, are you physically moving through the place a lot or staying mostly in one place? I'm going to speak for myself, okay? I like to stay in one place, you know. Even also, sometimes I notice guys go too far to look for it. Oftentimes, you know, when you come to Hollywood and we do my boot camp, Robert, and we're standing in front of the Starbucks, that's what I do every day. I don't go further, move a little bit. But I think that what you got to do is, I always say, put yourself where the pussy's at. So find a place that's more conducive, okay? And not conducive for the desperate guys. Don't be standing close to the bathroom or too close to the entrance, okay? Make sure that you stand somewhere initially to hook where there's the most pathways, okay? So if there's like an artery, they call it, I think, in a nightclub, you cannot be in corners unless that corner, you know, you're at a table or something like that and people want to come to it. You can call, okay? Another thing I've been doing lately is I get somebody to go. I'm sitting somewhere and I send a guy to go tell a girl, this guy over there, Vince Kelvin, would like to talk to you. He told me to come tell you that. And then I look at her and I go, come like that. So I pass it to Arash. I personally like to find a good spot and stay there. If it dies off, you find the next good spot. If you have to go to the bathroom, whenever you relocate, that's the last thing I'm going to say. Make it be a fucking parade. Draw a lot of attention. The one thing you want to avoid is to go.
Yeah, nothing to add. I agree. Stay in one spot like a whirlpool. It starts like this, and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and pulls everything inside of it. That's what we call it, a vortex. It pulls things inside. It doesn't spread around. Things come to you. They gravitate towards you if you do it right. Okay, next, Eric Morales. Can you give examples on how to properly do entourage game in the strip club? Yeah, I can. I do it all the time. The best way to learn this is to come to the event that Vince and I are having, okay? Because I just don't understand, like, the question sometimes. You're asking a technical question, okay, Eric? A technical question. There's technique involved in this shit. This is not some fucking made up thing, man. So if you want to learn how to do entourage in a strip club, you have to come to the event that I'm going to teach that. And right now, what can I possibly say? Okay, I'll say this. Get bottle service. Get your friends together, 4 or 5 of you guys. Each of you put $50 in. Go grab a $200 bottle service table. There you go. That's what I can tell you now that you could apply right away. Outside of that, it'll be impossible for me to teach you that right now. It would be just absurd to think that I can teach you an entourage game on a question on Tiny Chat. Come learn. Next, Champ says, mindset you both use to stay healthy. I don't know if I'm healthy. Vince is very health conscious. I'm not. So I can't talk about health. I'll pass it on. Vince, what's the mindset you use to stay healthy?
I'll pass it on. Vince, what's the mindset you use to stay healthy?
The mindset I use to stay healthy? Wow. Well, I smoke cigarettes, you know, and I'm actually craving a cigarette right now. The mindset, you know, the mindset is, I didn't expect that question. I didn't know we were going to talk about health. The mindset is always the same, you know. You have to wear it. do your best in any level. Why wouldn't I be healthy? Why wouldn't I want to be as healthy as can be? So, where was that question? Robert, can you give me examples on how to properly do entourage game in a script club? We got that. You both stay healthy, okay? Easiest way to make a girl you approach become addicted to you. You gotta be addicted to yourself. You gotta be addicted to your own greatness. See, one of the aspects of your inner game that you want to heal is to genuinely assess what's your sense of self. Are you fully sold on yourself? And for most guys, it's a bit of an apology. You know, most guys, it's a sense of false humility, to be a little bit humble, I mean, the question would be that. What if I pass the question to you right now, and I would say, how addictive are you? What would your answer be? You'd probably be, oh, you know, I'm okay, I'm great. Or you would fake it. But if you ask me, how addictive are you? I go like, wow, I'm the most addictive thing on the planet. I'm like all the most potent drugs combined into one, and you try me once, you won't be able to let go of me. And then again, guys, make no mistake. You got to understand that in order to get certain results, you need candidates that are capable. For that, you take a lot of steps, but not like you're doing a pickup per se. One challenge for too many guys, all they want to do is a perfect pickup. So they wait, and then suddenly maybe they see a girl they like a little bit more, or there's an opportunity that appears to be a little closer. Maybe a girl is closer to them and starts to talk to them. In that moment, they go too fast too soon in their own mind. In that moment, they start to think, how do I close the girl and so on. You need to slow that down, and the first thing you need to establish is, what kind of a candidate do I have over there? So everything that you toss at her at first is to find out that she is worthy and capable. Okay? So if you say something super funny and the girl doesn't get it, that's not a good indication for her. If you ask an interesting, intelligent question, or you're on a topic that's really interesting, and she goes, I don't know, that's not super exciting. If suddenly you get playful and you start to move her around and she's all stuck up, then you don't really have the candidate. So for a woman to be able to be truly addicted to you, you need to, one, be addicted to yourself, and two, have a candidate that's capable of that. And I will say more, but I want to pass it to her.
Well, I don't want to answer that question. I think it's an absurd question, you know. And Vince, I'm starting to get a sense for the way people ask questions, and I want to share this with everybody. Some of you, the way you ask a question, very clearly indicates that you have not spent one goddamn penny on any fucking product that Arash motherfucking Divazar has put out. And you know, I'm repulsed by people like you. I'm repulsed by people like you. So if I feel that and I'm wrong, you could tell me about it. But right now, the last couple of questions that have come from you, I'm feeling repulsed by you. And if you could so quickly repulse someone like me, I wonder how quickly we repulse a fucking female. If you're that disgenuine, and if you're that stingy with exerting your own energy, which is your money, to gain properly, with proper exchange, the most valuable information on the subject from us, do you really think you're going to get a woman? Do you know why you fail in life? It's because your questions demonstrate you have not cracked one page in my book. You've not listened to one word I've said on any fucking video. Okay? You're either extremely young or extremely virgin, or both. And you got to understand, I'm not here to teach you. Okay? You're somebody who bounces from teacher to teacher, YouTube video to YouTube video, goes over there and talks shit because you can never understand the reality I live in. And so you probably think my people are paid actresses and I don't know what the fuck you think, but your questions are just retarded to me. So I don't want to fucking answer how you can make a woman addicted to you. That's like asking Michael Jordan, how do you become a fucking champion in basketball when you don't dribble the fucking ball more than 20 minutes a day? Like, it's such a gap from the question to the ability level you're asking that to answer it for me, besides the way I'm answering it, because when I answer like this, two things happen. One, the people that invest their time and energy, right now their chest is coming up, they're breathing, they're like, yeah, thank you for calling that idiot on the dumb question he asked. And then other ones who are just like you, retarded, where they don't want to ever spend any money, wonder why they can't get a woman to open her legs. Because that's criminal. You're asking how to rape somebody. We're not here to teach you how to rape the way you rape us with our information. That's not what we do, okay? You want to get proper exchange. I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, I can teach you how to make any woman addicted to you. I put that on my life, on my family's life. I'm not kidding. I can do this. But the amount of energy, commitment, focus, and money it's going to take from you, you're not going to invest it. So that's not your question to me. You're not going to get an answer besides me just saying how absurd you are for asking such a retarded question. You must be retarded. I'm imagining a retarded person on the other side of this fucking thing. How can you ask to get a woman addicted to you if you don't know how to pick up? Do you know how to pick up a woman? If I asked you what are Vince techniques, could you break down one or two Vince Kelvin techniques? Would you be able to say this is how Vince teach this is, or would you be able to give me any of my techniques, or would you be able to give me some kind of like frog fart company, like I said, because you watched 30 of their fucking free videos and they told you just feel good, just feel strong. Look, life is short, and what you want to do is you want to just forget about all that and just get in there. And they have music and they have lights, but you know what they don't have? Any pussy. They have no pussy. They have none. They have zero. I've been on their Instagrams, and there's a bunch of fucking guys taking pictures of a bunch of other fucking guys. And if they're a gay pickup company, that's a great gay pickup. All gay people go over there. But if you want women, then just take the last 48 hours and look at Vince's Instagram, then look at my Instagram. Those are new women in the last 48 hours. Then in 48 hours from now, come back to our Instagrams, and you'll see new women. And then keep doing this every 40 hours and see what happens. I can't answer that retarded question. Let's go to the next one.
You know, brother, you said something very interesting, and I keep secrecy. And yet, when I came to San Jose, you voiced that one addiction that most people have, and some capitalize on that addiction, is that they always want an easier, softer way. And that's what I hear through those questions, okay? To dissect what you guys are kind of voicing right there. You're voicing that, number one, you are not sure that you have what it takes for women to really want you, so you're constantly looking for the little trick that will make it happen. Now, the better way is to relearn how to assess yourself, okay? To relearn how to really assess yourself, to realize that you are as capable as anybody else, but you are not using the system that everybody else is. And then you need to give it the time. Brother, on Friday, I was with David Gafafian and Chris DeVilbiss. And they both came to meet me, and you know, in preparation of the global SLR, I'm doing that thing again where I'm up like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., hustling. And by the time they showed up, you know, I do not do one thing that has completely changed for me when I'm in the world. I do not place any assessment, okay? I may go, oh, I'm a little bit in need of recharging, but I know that it's neither good or bad. It just is. So here we are, and left and right, they are stopping women. David did like a little bit of a vortex at a health food store. We're right there at a vegan place. So we picked the perfect position right by the cash register. We're sitting at the table. girls are passing, he pull her back, he's got one girl sitting there, then we got the other guy that's talking to a girl in between, people are looking at us, in the place I go there all the time. But what did those guys do? Those two guys have just given 2 entire years of their lives to get to that level. And now they're more dedicated than ever before. And sooner or later, both of them are going to be official trainers in training. They're no longer in training, trainers, you know. So that you got to understand is what it takes. When you ask a question, ask yourself, am I trying to go for a shortcut? Second question, if the answer is yes, why am I trying to go for a shortcut? Because I don't know that I'm capable to go through the journey and make it happen for myself. So let's see what other quick question we have. I'm looking at the time. I know you have a little bit of a time constraint, and me too, brother. Where are we question-wise? What are some illusions we have about... Oh, here's a great question. Sean Smith, what are some illusions we have about social dynamics that must be shattered in order to move forward towards mastery? The first illusion, and then I pass it to Arash, which it shifted because in your question you have that understanding already. Okay? But that's for everybody else. The first illusion that must be shattered is if you think that you are crippled in any way, that your situation is special, that because of your past you cannot, then that's the first illusion that you must let go of. And you must realize that the answer is a lot simpler than that. You simply need to dedicate the necessary time and effort in the right direction with the best possible information on the planet, and to go through that with a
I like that question. I like this question. And of course, it comes from somebody who's obviously bought, I know Shane, he's bought a bunch of products and stuff. And look at the difference, right? I'll share one with you, which I think is missing in people's minds. There's, of course, more than one, but just take this one for now. These are free talks, right? You share a little bit, a little sample. The illusion that other people have any fucking clue what the fuck they're doing out there. Nobody, unless they have studied this science and practiced it, has any idea how to socially interact. They're all violations. Every one of them is a violation. If you think that anybody out there knows how to interact socially with anybody else, you're wrong. They're all violating every fucking rule they can get. So I walk in knowing I speak a language that nobody else speaks tonight. But they want me to speak this language so that they have a better time. Very few are having a good time. Very, very few are actually having a good time no matter what it looks like. If they went with the same people and they left not meeting any new people and not truly interacting with somebody, they didn't have a good time. If they went with the same people and left greater because they met new people, new phone numbers, new opportunities in the future arrived, maybe networking, maybe parties, who knows? They had a good time. So the first illusion is that anybody out there knows what the fuck they're doing. When you realize they don't, then you could take responsibility and take charge of the place. It's my place. I walked in. Why? Because I speak the language and nobody else does. So if you walked into a place that no one spoke Chinese and you're the only one who speaks Chinese and you start speaking, everybody's like, oh yeah, by the way, I want some water. Can you ask him where the bathroom is? Oh, is that what that guy was saying? I was wondering why the fuck he was talking to me that way the whole time. And I am the interpreter of what the fuck is happening in that environment because I speak the language of social dynamics. The dynamics, you know, like two things in relationship with each other, the dynamic, right? I speak the language of social dynamics. I get what it means when a body's turned or when someone's voice is this, where a woman does that, where a guy does that. I know how to handle people when they get upset, when they get happy. I know when to approach, when not to approach. Like, the illusion you have to shatter is that anybody else knows that. I know nobody else knows that. So here I go. I don't need permission to do what I know what I'm doing, because I am the scholar, the student, and the master of this art. So I'll continue to be that. They're counting on me. I'm about to go out tonight and watch a bunch of miserable people pretend to have a good time. I'm going to make sure they have a good time if they're around me. That's what I'm going to do. That's it. I have to leave in 5 minutes, my brother.
That's it. I have to leave in 5 minutes, my brother.
Yeah, me too. So we're going to wrap up, gentlemen. And, well, you know the Global SLR is coming, guys. And what happened with the VIP tickets is that we're nearly sold out. I'm curious, how many of you guys are coming to the Global SLR? It's in September. It's the largest global event. Raj Depar, motherfucking Bazaar, myself are putting it together. The lineup of the gurus is the two of us, plus Bad Boy, Shawn Michael, and John Keegan. We're bringing martial art experts. We're bringing fashion experts, business and wealth experts, tantra experts, you name it, and so on. So before we take the last question, I wanted to give tonight just one opportunity. I know in this group there's one guy that really wanted to go VIP, and we're giving one opportunity. Online it's at 700. I want to give one guy one opportunity to go VIP for $500, okay? So one guy, one opportunity, $500. I'm going to put the link over there, okay? We wanted to do a special, but we're only going to do that for one guy tonight, first one who clicks on that link. The illusions that you got to shatter also is to think that beauty means that they have something special. You cannot be fooled by people's face. You know what I love, brother? Do you have the same? With the look, they give themselves away. I love to be extreme with my look because beautiful women will give themselves away. Okay? I'm so extreme that when I walk, here's what they're going to do. They're going to be like this. They're going to not like, if they're not more open, then they're not, some more open are going to be, I love your hair and so on. But the ones that you know, are just like, here I am. They do this, but for a split second, they have to look and they give a shy little smile. It's very fast. And that makes me aware that for you guys, probably, they are still passing and they're more aware of you than you know it. But it's just, don't buy into their own illusion and don't buy into your own illusion of them. If you don't buy into what happens at first, never be fooled by what comes up first, you'll see the same girls open, melt, and behave like little girls. I pass it to Rush. We take one last question. Tonight is simple, you know. We're not even advertising anything. I just think that there's one cool guy that really wants to be at the GSLR VIP, knows that it went up to not 700. I'm sorry, it's up at 1,000 right now. And I just want to reward one of you guys who's ready to step up. 500 versus 1,000. If you go online, you click on, go to Facebook, the Global SLR page, click on it and see. It's at 1,000 right now. So it's going to be one link that's going to last for one guy here. I'll pass it to you, brother. And end the call however you want.
Yeah, let's end it because we both have to go. Everybody, thank you for coming on this. Vince and I are doing an event on May 13th and 14th in Los Angeles. Everybody there. We're going to go over the dynamics of the Vortex game, on how to create this social scene, basically. I guarantee you the stuff I'm going to talk about, you've never heard me talk about it before, because Vince was the one who kind of convinced me to do it. So that's what it is, you know. I'm going to do it. And then that's it. You know, if you're not on the Aphrodite's Prince program or the Diamond Mine program, these are $97 a month programs. You can get it on seductiveinstinct.com. And the Aphrodite's Prince program is with Vince, and this is a program for pickup, daily coaching on pickup from Vince Kelvin. I mean, okay, good luck if you don't have that. Diamond Mind is daily coaching for me when it comes to communication, your subconscious mind, and the magic, basically the secret power of your subconscious mind and the power magic of your communication. Seduction is what I do. get on these things, okay? And really, like, get rid of the poor mentality if you have it, because it's destroying your life, okay? And just start thinking abundance, start investing, start making it happen. And I do want to say one thing that it's been really on my mind, and it just popped up right when I was about to log off. Some students, Vince, have been with us for a while, and some of them, if you guys are watching, you might be watching this later. Some of you may be on right now. I haven't looked at all the names. You're slowing down a little bit. You're slowing down and you're getting distracted. My friends, let me explain something to you. If you could do one 1,000th of what I could do with the mind or communication or seduction, you would have 10 times better life than you have right now. Don't you ever fucking miss what true power sits in front of you, because you have no fucking idea. So if you've been following us for a while, and you're kind of slowing down, or I don't know, because you fuck happened, but pull your head out of your ass, because I actually take more upset with students that have studied me and then start to fall off. I consider them more retarded than people who don't study me, because if it's like a girlfriend who's seen what I have and then decides to go somewhere else, that bitch is never invited back. So I'm just saying this right now to some of the old students that may be watching right now, or maybe watching this later, okay? Your name pops up on my Facebook every once in a while. I hear shit here and there, but don't put it past this motherfucker right here to suddenly say, you've been a student for 2-3 years, you're not active anymore, you're cut off. You're cut off. Why? Because you're so fucking retarded that you can't tell real power when you see it, even if it hits you in the fucking face. So why don't you go somewhere else, get some other fucking shit going on, because you couldn't see the real power. So this has been on my mind. It just came to me right now, and I'm going to fucking go with it. So that's how I want to end it. Brother, I hand it over to you.
That's how I want to end it, brother. I hand it over to you.
Okay, gentlemen, we're on tomorrow night with the podcast as well, and we both have a time constraint. We appreciate you tremendously. And